Alright, we are recording, yay! So this video we're going to talk about subtitles and specifically a piece of software called Subtitle Edit. The reason being that some movies or television shows, such as free run, you do want to use the subtitles. And for free run, it would be to use the English subtitles or the translation, the forced subtitles that are just the Japanese written on the screen. You want to be able to read that. But the problem is, at least to me, it doesn't have to be a problem. I make it a problem. I decide for it to be a problem. Is if you are putting the files on a server to then watch, most playback devices, such as a Roku or Fire TV, they can only handle one video stream at a time. Whereas the actual standard for Blu-ray, and I believe also DVD, is two. Because one is the main image, and then the other is a subtitle on there. And it's actually image-based today. All Blu-rays, that's what they're using. They're image-based, and most of it is transparent. It's just like, oh, at this time, play this image. You can put this image up and just is rendered on top as an overlay. Okay? But something like Roku doesn't support that. It is one stream only. So you have two options for getting subtitles in there. One is for them to be burned in. That can either be done by you when you're processing the video, or Jellyfin, and I assume other software like Plex, will do it for you. Like at time of playback, it just re-renders the video, burning the subtitles in, and so you have a temporary file on there of whatever size, because it will be in a different codec, and it will try to preserve the quality and also try to be fast, but it has to use the CPU or whatever to process the video, and then store the file locally for your playback. Not ideal. I prefer direct playback, which is where the second option is. That is to use a text-based subtitle format. Typically, I'm using SRT, which is basically just the most basic form of subtitles. And it's just a text. It ends up being just a text file that is in the MKV. I'm using MKVs here. And that, the Roku or whatever, will just read that, be like, okay, I just need to render this text on top. So yeah, works out very nicely. Only catch is you need to have the subtitles in text form. There is a place where you can go and download them. I tried that, it's open source, people are providing them. I tried that for some movies previously, but they vary. Because like, oh, this movie has had like 10 different releases. Each one, the timing could be a little off, which means that the subtitles are different for each. So that's not great. So the better solution, for me anyway, is to use that software. It's on this side. You need to remember that. This is called Subtitle Edit. And it sounds like it's for editing subtitles. Specifically what I use in it is the OCR capability of it, which I will get to. And by the way, this is a screenshot. I don't actually have it installed on my laptop, so we're not looking at it. But I do need to mention this. This is specifically version 4. Whatever, I think it's 0.13. There is now, I saw recently, there's now a version 5. That is a major overhaul, and for my purposes, is inferior. Fortunately, it's up on GitHub, it is open source, so you can go and just download an older version. I would recommend doing that if you're going to be doing what I do. So this is the main window. And as you can see, we've got on the far side is just a table. That is where the subtitles will be. And you've got one column is the number row, the start time, the end time, so when this should be displayed, and then the actual text itself. And if you click on that, it would be rendered down below. The text would be down there so you can edit. And then this black area is for video playback. Right? But before we can really get to that, though, we need to actually do the OCR, which is going to take the image-based and come up with the text-based. I'll also quickly mention this. There are a wealth of different text-based subtitle formats. SRT doesn't, to my knowledge, actually maybe it doesn't, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't support position information. So you can actually have a text-based subtitle where it'll say, hey, put the subtitle down here, put it up here, put it over there, put it over there. Because you will see, and even Freeman does use this, because there'll be times when, like, multiple people talking, don't put the R sound in there. Or even where there's music going, and so the translation for the lyrics will be like up top, and the text what people are saying will be at the bottom. I don't think SRT fully supports it. There are other formats that do. I've not bothered getting into it because SRT, everything supports it, and I'll just like put in extra blank lines. So there's that. feel like there was something else to mention, but now it's gone. Oh well. But yeah, so what I do is I just take the video file and I drop it on here, and it will scan through to find what the subtitle streams are. And by the way, it goes faster the smaller the file is. That may sound silly, but it is true. So what I've done previously, if it's going to take a while for the video processing to work, because working off the original file, that'll take longer for it to load up. And if it would take a while to process, or I just want to get ahead of it, it might be useful to mux the subtitle track out and then access it separately. Only thing is, then something like this, you wouldn't be able to view the video with it, but that's in a way neither here nor there. I take the file, I drag and drop it onto that UI, which then gives us something like this. Now, this, because I don't have the original videos of Freerun on the test system anymore, it's not that big a deal. So this is one of my outputs. So the top two tracks are my text-based subtitle tracks. And I actually also have it. Oh wait, no, I don't have it open anymore over there. Here, let me. Oh wait, yeah, that's right. The window projector. There we go. In OBS, so I can read this more easily. Hang on. There we go. Okay. So the top track is translation. So that's the forced one. So that's for, there's Japanese up here on the screen. What does that say? That's what that would be. And see, it's stext/UTF-8. So default true, forced true. Track 5, the first tracks are the video and audio, is English. So that's the full English subtitles, but as text-based. And then we have translations original and English original. So those are, because I keep them. I like keeping the original stuff in the file if I can. That's the stuff that's on the disk. So I can always go back and redo them if need be. Or if it's hey, I'm watching it on a system like in VLC or something, which that can handle the overlays. It's Roku that doesn't. I primarily use a Roku, by the way. That's why I typically will name that one first. But if I want to play in VLC and I want the original subtitles, right there. So for this, what I did, and those titles, it's just metadata. It's very easy to rename them. So I would select English or English original to do that. And then we would get this window, which I have this maximized. Normally it's smaller. And this is the main thing that I use and is definitely different in Subtitle Edit 5 and is why I do not recommend going to it if this is what you're going to be using. So we've got up here, and actually I have it open here as well. I have it open so I can look. We have the OCR method. So that first thing, that drop down that currently says Tesseract 5.5.0 is the OCR engine. Tesseract is an open source engine, and I've been quite happy with it. But other options are binary image compare. I don't know what that actually would work out doing. Tesseract 3.02. Then we get Tesseract 5.50. OCR via NOCR. OCR via Google Cloud Vision API. Paddle OCR, Olama Vision, and Google Lens. Tesseract, as I said, I'm very happy with that. It handles, and I think it also gives the most options and such to the others. So it can work with multiple languages. The engine mode, you have a selection here, and with my glasses off, I can't read. I'm pretty sure that it does say with the original engine, it supports italics. And oh yeah, italics definitely are used a lot in subtitles. Like I mentioned, background music. Lyrics tend to be italicized. But other options are neural nets LSTM only, Tesseract plus LSTM, and then default based on what is available. Original Tesseract only, because I want to support italics. And then you've got the options below of checking off, does it detect italics, does it detect the music symbol, and then fall back to the other Tesseract version if need be. All right. And yeah, none of those options. It's like you can select Tesseract 5.5 in Subtitle Edit 5, but that's it. That's it. And it's, I mean, there's like one or two things about it that seemed kind of nice, but no, I want these controls. All right, so then we have the section over there where part of it is green. Subtitle text. So that is when you hit Start OCR, you can see up here, this is the actual image subtitle. Right, that's what it actually is. It's just cropped down, so it's just the portion you need, because it just detects, oh yeah, this is all transparent. Put that in there, make the text black, make the transparency white. So now we can read that. And as you can see, free run, the life ahead of you will surely be much longer than we can imagine. Now, why is it yellow down here? Well, that's because it wasn't sure about some of the stuff in there. It wasn't like, what is free run? It doesn't really know that word. And it does want to try to correct OCR errors. And hang on, I will actually just run this for a little bit on the test system so I know all the things and can interact with it. You can see over here, though, we do have the list of unknown words. So every time a word comes up that it's not sure about, it will put it in there. There's also just all fixes, and oh boy, there can be a lot of those. Various things like it accidentally thinking a capital I is a pipe. That's one in particular I find frustrating. Okay, so I've actually stopped this at the same spot. So but yeah, so we've got all the same. Flame, Flame, F-L-A-M-M-E. It's like, I don't know what this word is. That is the correct word, though, so we don't need to worry about that one. Mage, how it doesn't know mage, I'm not sure. And then 2 instances of free run. If I were to look at all fixes, in number 5, it took... Okay, number 5, that subtitle track, that subtitle was actually all italicized, but the OCR thought that there was one word that wasn't. It fixed that. And yeah, we've also got those options there. Fix OCR errors, prompt for unknown words, which I have unchecked, and I will explain why. There's a good reason to do that. Try to guess unknown words, and auto break paragraph if more than 2 lines. That I definitely don't. I prefer to be as close to the original image. That is technically dangerous, because if the text of a subtitle is too long, I've actually seen errors be thrown for that. Okay, I had to go in and edit it, but it's only really happened once. I would recommend just don't worry about it. Let it be what it originally is. There might be other things you need to edit, but for now, just leave that as it is. If you have a playback error, note when that happened, go in and then edit it. Okay, and it's very easy to do because you just need a text editor. You go to where it is, make the change, and then you save the SRT file, mux it back in. I will get to muxing in a different video. That's not what this software really is for. Alright, so yeah, auto break. It can be useful. I'm just not going to trust it. Trust the software to do it. I will do it myself. Prompt for unknown words. The reason why that I have turned off is this way. I hit start OCR down there. It'll just go. It will just go. It will not stop. Okay, unless I stop it. And that's just a lot easier because let it go through. And then I will go through and just, okay, that one, need to fix this, need to fix this, need to fix this. As opposed to, okay, I need to fix that, hit the button. Okay, it's got another error. Okay, let me fix that. Okay, now hit the button again. Okay, fix that. Now I need to hit the button. It's a lot easier if it's just done. And, well, it isn't. It can actually be kind of slow. So it's like you just leave it, do its thing, and then go back and go through it all. And one thing that you can do that might be helpful is if you actually go from the bottom up. There's 2 advantages to doing this. One is it means you're not just reading the movie or television show that you're going through. So that can be helpful if it's you don't want to spoil things. But it also, there can be an element of, because it will be out of order then, you have to pay more attention. You have to look at what you're doing and be like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. You're not just, as you're going, like, your brain filling things in. But when you do run into something, into some issue, you see the spot down there at the bottom where it says free run, the life ahead of you will surely be long, all that. That text box, you can go in and edit. And it's very easy to do. It's just a plain text box. And it does also support italics in there as well. And you can just hit Control-I and if you do Control-I without text being selected, it will apply or remove italics from everything. It's a toggle on and off. If you select a specific word or select multiple words, it will put the italic flags around that. And for anyone wondering, it's standard HTML flags. It uses just that for italics. It also does use the line break HTML flag, so the BR/ uses that. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yeah, we've got duration there. That's one thing that you might find yourself changing. Not here. Actually, I don't even know if you can change it in this. Yeah, no, you can't. So this is just going to make a text-based version of the image-based subtitles, which is fine. That's all you need. If there are some, and it'll warn you, it's like, oh yeah, for the amount of text, this is not going to be on the screen long enough. You can go and edit that. Although it might be that no, you don't need to edit it. It's because, like how I mentioned with lyrics, it might be okay, this one is here, and it's like, oh, this is only up here for half a second. That's not enough time. Well, it's because the next subtitle, that's still there, but it's also putting the lyrics up there. So yeah, it's not so bad. But it does still warn you. Like I actually do see one here where it's 0.8 seconds, but it's a single word. What? It's like, yeah, that's not so bad. You'll probably be able to catch that. When it's on the screen, I mean, you should be able to catch that. So yeah, you would just go through, do all that, start OCR, finish running through, make your edits. Then when you hit OK, I actually don't have a special screenshot for this, but you come back to, oh wait, no, not that one, this one. And it just has it all filled out in that table. Then you can go and make more edits and save it. And just, you would save it as an SRT. Yeah, I do suggest you try to have the name be clear for what it is you're doing. So like the episode name. And then if it's the translations track, that's the term I tend to use. Translations, I'll be the name of the episode in this case. Space translations .en .forced .srt. The .en and .forced, these are flags that some software will recognize. So it's like, okay, en, I know this is an English track then. Cool. .forced is like, oh, okay, I now know I need to set the metadata for this to be forced on. Okay? Which Jellyfin I know respects. VLC not always. But Jellyfin will respect that. Well, it'll be like, oh, hey, you're not playing in... Well, even if you are playing in the native language, it'll still be... Like, if the audio does match the language you want. So if you're playing the English audio, it'll still be like, oh, it's forced on. Doesn't matter. I will turn that on unless you manually turn it off. So basically, forced is by default, this is on. There's also default track, which is saying, hey, if you want to turn subtitles, this is the one that should be turned on. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. As powerful as Subtitle Edit is, it's actually pretty easy to work with. Though it does have some things that are annoying. For example, I found it at one point, but opening this thing back up is very difficult. Opening up the OCR itself is very difficult. So here, let me actually just do that. So here, I have partial OCR done on my test system for this exact same track. How do I get back into OCR? I can never remember. There is a way, but it's also like not very clearly named or whatever. I just... oh yeah, something else it will do a lot of that does get annoying is I prefer straight quotes to smart quotes. We don't have an example of it there. So smart quotes is just with it angled. I prefer straight. If only for consistency. So what I will do is I will actually open this up into Notepad++, where I have a macro in there that will do that fix for me. I should also mention... Oh, yeah, one other thing that I also should mention. The Tesseract engine, actually any of those engines, it will download those. Okay, it doesn't come... when you install this, it doesn't come with those engines built in, but you select it, you start to go, it's like, hey, I need to download this, can I? Yes, you can. We're good. But this is the extent for what I use it for, but it should be noted that... so I'm just still trying to find how I would get back to the OCR. It is also capable of like making the original subtitle track. So not just you taking and doing OCR, but you need to be worried about synchronization. You want to have it... I think you can even have it just pay attention to what is... to the audio, and it tries to do speech to text. And then you would need to edit that. But yeah, audio to text. We have options here of Whisper and Vosk or Caldy. It's got a K. It's a little odd. Yeah, it is so weird and annoying that it just... Nope, that's not it. Compare. Don't think that'll do it. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah, there is a way, because I have done it before, but it is just such a pain. Because, I mean, it's not perfect, but for what you need, this does its job. But it is the whole, you gotta just drag and drop it in there, and then just do the OCR, fix it up later if need be. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna try to find... I will pause the video. If I can find it, I'll unpause. Otherwise, I'll just stop the recording. So, gonna keep looking. Okay, I found it. It's not ideal. As far as it's not obvious. So when you're on this screen, if you right-click it, so this is in the situation that you have already done some of the OCR, but not all of it. You save that file, even though it's incomplete. When you come back to it, you drag and drop the video onto Subtitle Edit again, so you get this up. This window, nothing will be filled in. Right click on the first line, and you'll have an option in the context menu: import text with matching time codes. In other words, import the existing SRT file. You can do that. You select it, and then you're good. It'll import it, put it all there. You can still run the OCR through, and it will verify, and it may verify stuff if you actually do. So, like, 46 it has done, 47 has. If you were to click on 47, so I'm just scrolling back to that. If I click on that and I hit start OCR, it will start from that line and keep going. In fact, start OCR from subtitle number 46. It's even right there. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I'm even seeing this here. It is, when you do start OCR and there's existing subtitles there, it will overwrite what you have. That is annoying, but I mean, it still is if you're trying to complete it, that's how you can do it. But yeah, there are definitely ways it could be better. Unfortunately, absolutely, Subtitle Edit 5 is not the answer, at least not for this. Maybe for the audio stuff, if you were to work directly in that. But that is not what I'm doing. And yeah, that is disappointing. It's very disappointing. But hey, as I said, Subtitle 4, it's Subtitle Edit version 4. It's actually 4.0.16. I'm pretty sure I'm on 0.13. It's not that big a deal. That is still available. That's what I would recommend you use. So, yeah, that's kind of it. So, gonna stop this and get to the next thing.